sure your father's giving you a beer.
My father's never given me anything.
Betty and Sally in Mad Men have always had a strained relationship throughout the series, but this brief moment between them shows how much Sally's perspective of her parents have changed and how Dawn plays a big part in that. Let's call back to season 2 when Betty catches Sally smoking in the bathroom for the first time. Betty reacts harshly with a punishment, and Sally responds by threatening to tell Dawn.
Telling Daddy when he gets home.
Go ahead!
He left because you're stupid and mean.
Now, at this moment in the series, Dawn is not at home because Betty does not allow him to come home after confronting him about his infidelity. Sally is obviously not aware of Betty's personal turmoil with Dawn and is at the stage where she sees Dawn as the nice parent and Betty the mean parent and blames Betty for Dawn being gone. Betty does express some regret in her reaction.
I realize I haven't been completely fair to you. And if there's something you want, I'd love to give it to you.
And tries to make up to Sally at the end of the episode. She gives her horse riding boots because Sally expressed wanting to join her in her horse riding, and also spoke honestly to Sally about her and Dawn, telling her that they're having a disagreement and that's why Dawn has not come home.
Your father and I are having a disagreement. And he went away.
Betty reassures Sally that things are going to be okay, and Sally readily accepts it.
I promise everything's going to be okay.
Okay.
Now, comparing that back to the scene in season 6, Sally is grappling with what she saw the previous episode, where she catches Dawn with Sylvia. She is understandably shocked and disgusted, especially when she witnesses Sylvia's husband and Megan praising Dawn for doing a good thing. Because just like when Sally was younger, these people are seeing Dawn as an idealized version of him, the person who solves their problems and rescues you from your situation, and in Sally's case, rescues her from her mean mom. For the first time, she is faced with the realities of what Dawn might have put Betty through in their marriage. And to make things worse, Dawn's reaction to the situation is to gaslight Sally.
I know you think you saw something. I was comforting Mrs. Rosen.
Literally telling her that she did not see what she thought she saw, giving Sally a taste of how he gaslit Betty when she confronted him with his affairs.
I didn't do anything.
She avoids Dawn from then on and decides to enroll for boarding school, getting away from him even further, just like how Betty did not want Dawn to be around in season 2. In this scene, Betty is excited for Sally and offers her a cigarette. She comments about Dawn probably giving Sally a beer as to make light of the gesture, that it's not a big deal, that Sally is old enough to experience these things, and it's Betty this time who is unaware of Sally confronting the realities of Dawn's infidelity. Sally responds by saying,
My father's never given me anything.
Because her idealized image of him has completely shattered, and she is now beginning to understand what her mother went through, and is probably empathizing more with Betty's turmoil. She's probably remembering the last time she had a cigarette in front of Betty, and how Betty's response to punishing her was to make up for it by giving her both what she was asking for and also being as honest as she can to a child. Whilst Dawn's reaction to Sally catching him in his offense was to deny and deflect, and not making sure she was okay or to make up for it in any way. She is realizing that Dawn was never there to begin with, that him being gone from the house wasn't Betty's fault, it was his own doing. His own infidelity caused him to not give the attention to his family, and that even after being caught red-handed by his daughter, Dawn is unable to give Sally the appropriate response, one with remorse, self-awareness, and reassurance, the kind that Betty gave Sally, simple though it may be. And this gesture of her being able to smoke a cigarette offered from Betty ties everything together for her. That even though Betty is frustrating and has her issues and is not necessarily a good parent, she has at least given her something, some semblance of genuine care and affection, whereas Dawn is what he has always been, absent and unable to give Sally what she needs.
You know what? Why don't you just tell them what I saw?